It's that time of the year where we have the yearly review of an achiever. I'm Oluwaseyi, and this is Emmy's vlog, where we speak on faith, lifestyle, relationship, things that matters, and we also have shows on yearly review of an achiever and other things that will be coming up this year. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you. Today I'll be unveiling our speaker of the year for year 2024 in the person of Mercy Ebunoluwa Olagunju. Mercy is a lady that is versatile in a lot of things. I would say she's jack of all trade and master of all. Why? Because she's into a lot of things and she has mastered the art of them. And that is why today's theme is on ÀJÍKÄ, which is her pen name. ÀJÍKÄ, a walking work of art. Because at a young age, she has been able to achieve a lot of things, do a lot of things, and master the art of all the things that she's into. So, with no further ado, I bring to you our speaker of the year, Mercy Ebunoluwa Olagunju. Please welcome her to the podium.
Welcome to Emmy's vlog. Welcome to our channel. Thank you for honoring our invitation to be an achiever of the year on this stage. And we are very, very grateful to have you in our midst. We are very, very grateful to have you on this show. Like I said when I reached out to you, we are here to spotlight you as the achiever of the year 2024 because after a lot of research, found out that we did a lot of things in 2024 despite being young, and we are wow, and we would like our audience to get a glimpse, if not all, of how you are able to achieve all of that 2024. Once again, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so moving straight to you, I'll be asking you a few questions. So, okay, to get all the answers for you. Yeah, so for a start, I would ask, for the sake of those that are watching you right now, who is Mercy Olagunju?
Okay, so Mercy Olagunju is that girl that art that I call myself embody art. I call myself a creative icon. An embodiment of art because it's the one girl that is a content creator both in videos and written. She's a CEO. She owns her own brand. A CEO. She sold, she's designing it. And last year I started modeling actually, and then I really don't call myself this, but I got an handful of jobs as a voiceover artist last year, and then she's an author, and this is just that girl that carries that does all of these things at once, like together. And sometimes I say Mercy is different from ÀJÍKÄ. I feel like ÀJÍKÄ is the fierce one, but Mercy and ÀJÍKÄ is still the same body, and she's just that, and she's also that girl that runs big time on God. Yeah, so that's who Mercy is.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot. So, like, what I got from what you said sometimes you feel Mercy and ÀJÍKÄ, they are two different things, because ÀJÍKÄ is more like a force than Mercy, but it's still the same body. Well, that's nice. That's nice. That's really nice to hear and to know that you yourself, you feel you can tell the difference, but it's just by the help of God, I would say. You can see that you are a foreign languages student. I would also like to know, because I know that, okay, you might be versatile in different language. I also like to know which language or which languages, aside the normal Yoruba and English, which other ones do you know? Okay, in a country where English is even hard, like some people don't understand English. You can testify to the fact that English is hard for some people, because people even still go to schools, go to university to study English, and here you are, aside English language, you are studying other languages. Like, wow, that's a big one. So, and it's not like some people see foreign language as speaking in tongues, because how do you get to how do you get to learn another man's language when our official language you have never finished learning it? Like, I give you a big hand. So my question, how are you doing it? Like, how? Or is it that what happens is it just the same way, the foreign language thing, is it the same way one fall into the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues, or how do you do it?
Yes, I get the fact that truly, even in Nigeria, where our official language is English, it's not everybody that understands that English itself. And learning a foreign language in an area where the language is not spoken to, it's, yeah. Before you ask this question, you mentioned what languages specifically. Okay, so I started with French. I know I did French throughout my secondary school, like not just school French. I was attending. I was a consistent student in a institution, a language school. So I had like that French language proficiency, I think to A2 level. So by the time I finished secondary school, French is actually a language that is like common in Africa, and I just wanted something outside Africa. So I came into school to study German language. So I dropped French at that point and picked up German. So somehow I'm losing a few tendencies to speak French, but then if I read French to an extent, I can still understand, I can still pick things together. But presently I'm majoring in German. And then when I got to my second year in university, I'm presenting my second year, I picked Portuguese language as my second language. That was like some months ago. So now I can say I used to be into French, and presently I'm into German and Portuguese. And I just started with Portuguese actually. I'm a beginner in Portuguese. But then that's aside. But for the question, I would like to use German as like, because I'm majoring in German, how I tend to like survive in an area where German is not spoken as a German language student. When there is no environment, one thing is we have to just create the environment for ourselves, because I cannot at the moment, at least I'm not in Germany, and find my way to Germany is not, I can't go to Germany. Going to Germany on scholarship will be, then I know the language. But without the language, going to Germany is maybe my dad is Dangote or something, and my dad is not even Dangote. So apparently I have to create the environment for myself. From watching movies to listening to music to sometimes I read some poems in German, to checking these guidelines in German, like okay, how to cook this particular food, and like searching for it in German. On YouTube there are German like YouTube channels. So creating that environment. Then I have friends, I have classmates, I have a body. I currently teach, so it also helps me. So there is just, I'm not alone. We are definitely a group of things that we learn together, we are going together. So I have that environment to speak. And then my dad is a good in language, so I have that luxury. Okay, I can ask, I can mention, I can speak to him and all of that. So creating the environment in this environment is how it works for me as a foreign language student.
Wow. Okay, you said your dad is into foreign languages, German, right? Oh, that's nice. I can see how you are able to cope when it comes to speaking the language and learning the language. You said you've learned French, you're learning German, and you currently picked up Portuguese. Wow. So making it 5 languages like English, Yoruba, German, French, Portuguese. Wow, that's a nice one. That's a good one. Well done. Like, a lot of people are willing and like they really want to learn other languages. Some of them give excuses as they don't have the resources, they don't have what it takes, they don't have the community. But with what you've said, you have to build your own community. You don't wait for people to give you the standard, so to say. You can create your own standard and walk into it, and others will even follow suit. Moving on to the next question. If you look back into 2024, what is that one exercise you would like to relive? Like a moment, something you did in 2024, or something that inspired you in 2024 that you would like to do over and over again, and why?
Something I did in 2024 that I would like to do again is, well, one thing I did 2024 that that pushed like this part of me out. That was like where the big story starts stemming from. It was challenging, but I had been a content creator online, consistently showing up online and all of that. And then I'd built something for myself online. And then February, I had been planning since 2023 November to go on a 6 months break, like go offline. Then I wanted to just build, in this era where people are just online, everybody just wants to say something, everybody just wants to put something out. I noticed we don't really take that time to build substance. So everybody just wants to talk, everybody wants to spew, but that substance, that inner substance, just a few people that actually are the ones that like take what it takes to build that substance. And I just felt, okay, yes, I was going to actually I had already had it in mind to take the time off, and then I lost my initial Facebook account. It was more of like losing somebody, like losing your CV where you documented everything, like losing a business that I built over the years. So he pushed me. That was 2022, 2023, 2021 or 2022. Then I was building it fresh, and somehow I was getting really choked up with the pressure and everything. So I said, okay, I was going to take that break. But then it was not coming. Then circumstances played its game, and February, I just had to take that step. I was going to go on a break, and it was not something I thought I was going to like be able to keep up to. But going offline for 6 months on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere, like absolutely everywhere, I was offline for 6 months, and that was like the most courageous thing that happened to me last year. And I told myself before I come back, because before last year, I write even on my Facebook page, in that bio aspect, I write unofficial poets, because I didn't learn poetry from anywhere. I just I knew I fell in love with it, and I wanted to just catch on it, but I was not getting it. So I did not have the boldness and courage to come out and announce myself as a poet. But during that 6 months offline period I was offline, I told myself that by the time I'm coming online, I'm going to announce myself as a poet, and I was going to do something strategic. So along building as a poet, like I really wanted to build something, add value to myself, like build so many, like I'm into a lot of stuff, so I wanted to just build strategically in every aspect of myself, and that's like a lot of work. And poetry was now like, it was just drastic. God just decided to crown my efforts. Like I had a win in school, and that was like the beginning of the big story for me last year. I was telling somebody I think 31st of December last year, that my first 6 months was just less. There was no activities. Everything was just dry. I heard a lot of words. People talked down on me, told me my star had gone, that I was no more online. I was just there, like people said things, but it was me that knew what I was working for. And yeah, that's a part I would still do it again. I still want to do it again, because I just saw more to building in silence and coming up with a big story.
You saw more to building in silence and coming out with the big story. Wow, that's a lot. And there's a big lesson to learn from that you don't have to always be there for people to notice you. Go into hiding and do some strategic works and come out big, so that by the time you come out, there's nobody's killing your shine and the likes like that. Because it's where you know your worth before you can be able to do something worthwhile. That's nice. That's really great. I admire your courage. It is very hard for people to stay offline, and you did it for 6 good months. Wow. Some people cannot even do a day without their phone. Don't talk of 6 months without being online. I applaud you, my dear. So moving forward, and I can see, yes, with all I read about you, I can see that you really did a lot of work. Coming out was a banger. Like, you really did well. God bless you. So yes, moving forward, my next question is: in 2024, you were OAU inaugural Poet of the Year. How did you achieve this feat? What does it mean to you? And what lessons have you learned from the process of emerging?
How I achieved it was, I was just, it was in between this 6 months old break and all of that. I met a lady. I got to know about a lady. She's Memunat Ali, first inaugural Poet of OU. I heard a lot of things about her because during those 6 month break, somehow I just wanted to. I don't know where that there's this thing about me and my goals. There's a way it bonds inside me when I want to do something. So I just felt okay. I wanted to be a poet, like a strategic name on OU campus. Like I wanted to have that poetry attached to my name as something strategic on Obafemi Awolowo University campus. And when I mentioned to someone, and then somehow along the line, I saw it. It was just something really random, and then the person said, "Do I know this particular lady in the picture? She's the first inaugural Poet of OAU." So I felt, for somebody to have the kind of thing I always wanted, I'm like, okay, I was going to find out. So I had seen her on a flyer. She was going to be the performing poet of an event, and I went for the event. I met her. I didn't know where it came from, but I had faced her. We were talking, and I told her, I want to be the next Memunat Ali of OAU. Honestly, I didn't know what that meant. It was the craziest thing I did that day. I got home and I was just wondering, okay, what did you just do? Like, it was crazy for me to tell her I was going to be the next Memunat Ali. But from the fact that it had been boiling in me to be something strategic in poetry in OAU. So when I said that, she said, oh, there's a competition and it's open to 60 people. And out of 60 people, one person will be the one to go with the crowd. I'm like, I had to ask her, how will out of 60 people, just one person? I said, it's not easy. She said, okay, that I should try it. And I was just wondering, how exactly would one person, in my mind, I'm like, that one person is going to be very good though. So I tried the first stage. I had done a lot because I'd buried myself in a lot of work in poetry for those 6 months. But I think it was in the 5th month. It was in the 5th month. Was it 5th month? July. I started my offline. I went offline February, March, April, May, June, July. 6th. Wait, I'm coming. That was like about the ending of my break, my offline old stuff. So it was July. Yes, is it July or August? I can't remember now. It was July or June. And when I did the first stage, it took a lot of. I was so scared actually. I told myself if I would measure up to the next stage, at least that first stage, it was, I think 60 people were going to be broken down to 30. Yes, so I felt it was still not so tight, so I could be able to waggle my way through. But that was like, I've never won a competition all along. Like, I've never gone for a competition single-handedly all my life and then win before this particular one. Maybe all this church, aside church Bible quiz, I can cram. I know how to cram, memorize these Bible verses. So memory verse, I do it in children's church. But aside that, going for like a debate, going for a competition, like something like this, I have never won. So it was like I was just used to that spirit of if I go, I'll still not win. So I just felt, let me just do, since I had already said, I'd put my word that I was going to be the next Memunat Ali. So I felt like I cannot now back out so heavy. The fact that I'd put that word down, it choked me. So I was walking, sometimes I'll sit down and I'll cry, sometimes I'll just beg God, sometimes I'll get scared. Before the first stage, I wrote a lot of poems. Like I wrote a couple of them before I could I now had to combine, remove, delete, substitute and combine everything back together before I could submit the final work. Then after the first stage, we went on to the second stage. The second stage was just a tutorial, like a teaching, and we just went through that. And then the third and fourth stage were on the same day. Those were the physical ones. And honestly, how it happened, I was tensed. I was just going to break. It took a lot of sleepless nights. It took a lot of my tears. I cried. Like, I got frustrated and I'm like, okay, who sent me to drop my word the other time? Like, Mercy, why did you do this? But then all my mind was, I had already dropped my word, and even if I'm not going to win, she needed to see me try, even if she didn't see me win. But my mind was, I just wanted to win. I don't know, it was just boiling in me that I dropped that word. So that word tied me up, like put me on my feet. And I spoke with some of my friends, they encouraged me. And that day, I was more on God. One thing I do is I know I don't have the strength, so I depend so much on God. And I just cried to God. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. I perfected my lines at last minute because my days can be very tight. And I went to stage. I did the first round. I was the best for the first round, but I was still skeptical. So when we moved on to the second round, they broke, I think, 30 of us or 15 of us to just 6. And when I scaled to that point, everywhere was tense. The 6 of us were tense. The whole room was tense. Everybody was making a mistake or the other on stage. Everybody. So when the first person made a mistake, second person made a mistake, the third person did not, then the person before me made, and I was the next. I went to stage and I made my mistake too. So at that point, it was just, I had recited the whole poem, giving all the charisma. I was shaking inside, but I kept my teeth. So I got to the last line, and that last line just left my head. And I just stood there. I was just looking. It was dramatic. I could not cry. I could not scream. I just stood there. I closed my eyes for some seconds. Then the line came. I said my line. I ended my poem. I went outside. I had already given up. I felt so bad because my nights had gone, sleepless nights. I'd read a lot of things, gone to do research on, things I needed to know about poetry, watched videos, went online to check. Like, I just did a lot. It took a whole lot from me. And now seeing that I made that mistake, it did hurt me actually. And I felt like I was going to lose it. But then if I posted a video of when I was announced, I totally broke down because it was so unexpected. I feel like in my mind, as I finished that poem performance, I told myself I'm disappointed because one person came for me, and I told myself I disappointed this lady, that I just felt bad. But when the whole win came, it now came like big. So one thing it taught me was setting, I would say, crazy goals and actually challenging the goals. Because imagine me facing somebody and telling the person, I want to do what you have done. I want to be that you of my time. Like, I don't know, like it was like the biggest challenge that I was going to give myself, and it just came out of me like that. So sometimes, aside setting goals, challenging those goals, like doing something that will keep you on your feet, like you want to just like a scenario, like what I'm saying now. I had this. The goal was to have something strategic in poetry in OAU, and then I now move from just having that goal to facing somebody that has crossed that line and telling her, I'm going to be you very soon. So that was like one big thing it taught me, to set goals and to challenge them, to do something that will just place me on my feet and like make me, accountable to the goal. So yeah, I learned that from the whole experience. What the achievement means to me, well, it's a very big spotlighting, or how would I even call it? It's like a crown. I just see it like a crown on my efforts, and I see like God just saying, Mercy, I see how much you work. And it means the evidence of labor to me, because I don't know, it's a whole lot for me, because at that point, after that jackpot, going on a 6-month holiday and you're like, okay, I'm going to come back with a bang, and God actually brings that bang. So coming out with that kind of evidence, it jacked me up very much. Like, I got a whole lot of recognition. That I opened LinkedIn, and within a few moments I was getting connected to world figures in poetry. I had opportunity to speak with them, to hear their experiences. It was something tangible for me. It was not just there's a place for gradual growth, and there's a place where there are some strategic wins that just boost the whole thing. So it meant a whole lot to me. It meant like a crown on all of my efforts.
That's a whole lot. And what I got from all what you've said is, number one, do it afraid. Like, I love the fact that you had the courage to because some people, they want to achieve something, but they are scared. And because of that fear, they cannot do that thing. Number two thing I got from what you said is set goals. Set goals. Crazy goals, realistic goals, big goals. Like, just set the goal. That's number two thing. Number three things I got from what you said is that you should put yourself in the place where you want to be. Assuming you've been planning, okay, you want poetry to be attributed to your name on OAU campus, and you are just sitting down in your house, in your hostel, just going from class to church, back to the hostel, and like that. And you saw the flyer, you didn't even go for it. You wouldn't have even met her to even say, challenge her and say, I want to be you the next time. So put yourself in a place of relevance. Put yourself in a place where you want to see yourself. Not, I'm not the going out type. I want to sit down at home. Nothing will come to you. Just like what people say that when their parents are asking female gender, and when their parents are asking them, how far, when are you getting married? And the next answer will be, in God's time. And the mother will be like, in God's time, and you're sitting in this house, you're not going out. How do you want to see the man? That's just what you just did. Because if you sat down in your hostel, there's no how she will not come and meet you in your hostel. Even if they stream, you even know if you watch it, the poetry stuff, even though you watch it online, you will not still be able to meet her to challenge yourself or challenge her, so to say. So those are the three things I could say I got from what you said. Like, set goals. And number four, when you set goals, don't just leave it there in your jotter or in your notepad or something. Work towards it. Work towards achieving it. And surround yourself with people of like minds. You started meeting people that are in that field. You started communicating with people. You started working it out, and it's worked out for you. And we can all see that, yes. And your dreams have come true. You have become the second inaugural poet in OAU. Like, wow. Like, you really outdid yourself, and God indeed crowned your efforts. Yeah, so the next question will be, in the year 2024, you were opportune to appear on different platforms to speak in a feat that seems very far-reaching for someone in your age. Like, you are young and you are able to achieve all of this at this very young age of yours, where some people your age have not even thought of. How do you feel about it, and what lessons do you think our viewers can glean from this? What lessons can they learn from this?
Okay, so it actually feels sorry for me, because it feels like magic sometimes. Because for a girl like me, that when I said initially, society relegated me to the background. Like, I had, like, I don't know why that was, but I grew up with hard words. I grew up with adults telling me I can't make it, because I had a very smart twin brother, and my academics was low. I was very retarded, very slow. I had not discovered me, so I was just there trying to catch up, but it was clumsy. So my results were usually very bad. I was usually very slow, just one very ordinary rubbish girl there. So society really gave me hard words that at some point I desired dropping out. Actually, I just felt like school was not for me. And so when I look back, and I'm like, okay, that same girl, it's not like it happened, all this breakthrough happens 20, 21, 30 years old. It's happening this fast. Like, the transition, everything, just so it feels amazing, like awesome for me. Because sometimes I just look at God and I'm like, thank you, because it shows me how much God actually loves and favors me, because it was not it. And sometimes I try to see, I don't want to call it luck, but the points where somebody who was not ready for life at all, was not interested in doing anything, transitions, like it was during the COVID-19 period that it clicked in my head. That time they were saying, okay, the world was going to end and everything, and I was just like, I don't know where it came from, but it just struck in my mind, like, okay, if the world ends, this is how you end. So I'm like, we need to do something. We need to do something with this life. So that was where it started from. And then the COVID-19 got me my phone. I was 12 or 13 years old then, and my school had online classes, and initially we were using my parents' phone. But when the lockdown was becoming too long, they had to find a way of getting us our own phone so that they were able to use their phone. So that was how I got my phone. I installed Facebook, and as I was really messy online. I was just doing anything anyhow, but somehow I still got in every detail of this. Ordering my step, it was just one picture I saw of a lady. I went to check her out. I was so intrigued by like her life, her whole, like everything, and I was like, this is someone's life. Coupled with the fact that initially I had been struck with that feel of I cannot end this way. So, and this particular lady, I think as at then she was 20 or 30, and she was like I just saw a picture because personally from very, very young age I like to see pictures. If you give me your phone when I was small, I'll go to your gallery first. So I like to see pictures, and even till now I like to see pictures. So I had gone to Facebook and I was just scrolling when I saw this very fine studio picture. Her name is Blessing Christian, and as at then I came across her. I loved how she dresses. I loved her content. I loved how she loves God. I just loved the whole purpose, the whole, her life was just so beautiful. And I'm like, this is a life, and this is me that is feeling if COVID-19 should end the world, and I end like this is rubbish. So I don't know where that came from, but it came because I was not really straightforward in my thinking there too, but it just came. I didn't know what purpose discovery was, but it came. And so when I saw her, every day I would go online, Facebook, I would sit down until I exhausted all of her pictures to the last. I checked through each of her content. I checked through everything. So from checking through her, all of these content creators now, she doesn't create on Facebook anymore. I think she uses Instagram now, but she doesn't create on Facebook anymore. From checking her posts, sometimes another content creator would celebrate birthday, they would post, or probably they met each other somewhere. So from her, I got to meet another creator. Then from there, I just kept meeting, influencers. I met Deborah Ochedo, I met Chinaza Favor. Then I had Blessing Christian. Those three people, and these three people, they have hair, they are fine, their hair is fine. They know how to dress. They take good pictures. So I was just like, something just sparked in me. I have this love for dressing from a very young age, but I could not find it from then. I have this love for pictures. Then I just liked that idea of hair. I play with my hair a lot. That was what led to me building a brand as an hairstylist. So the three of them just circled around something that sparked inside me. So that was where the spark came from. But it didn't generate so fast. Things didn't happen so fast. And I heard a lot of words. I was 13 years old. I heard things like, girls at 13 don't do things you are doing. So apparently what happened was, I was looking up to people way older than myself. Imagine me as a 13 that year, looking like following the steps of people like Chinaza Favor, Deborah Ochedo, and Blessing Christian. So I was no more in my level. So I feel like God just ordered my steps. It just made me see, it just brought that link from inside of me with those people. So for the fact that those people they were mature and they were doing big things, I had it and I was absorbing a lot of them. I had the tendency to do what adults would do and not what my age mates would do. So I was working towards that line, and I didn't even understand what I was doing. I was just doing. So I would go to Facebook and just post anything. I would just write anything. I was just there. Then someone just called me and said, person insulted me actually. Person said because I discovered that I write. I like to write. Even from primary school, I would share my school book. I used to write stories, so I write a lot. So person just insulted me that I would just be wasting talent, that I would just be writing rubbish, that I write so lengthy. In fact, in secondary school, they call me epistle. I had anything because for birthday, people come to meet me to compose birthday posts. Like I write a lot, like long texts. I even still do it now, but I've reduced it a little. So when the person insulted me that I'm wasting talent, I had to call my dad and my twin brother. What was that? Why were you challenged with I'm wasting talent? That the person insulted me, I felt bad. So my thing was like I could write better things, and it was from that point I started to try to maneuver. So for somebody my age, I don't know, it's not common. My age mates don't do these things because another thing let me just skip the second question. What I want the viewers to learn: if you are a parent or intending parent, sort of allow your children do things like. I know there is this part of the fear of this child is still small. If she gets my parents are that fair actually. That if I get like that exposure to things. It's from the corner of the perspective of love, actually, true love. That okay, if she gets exposed to these things, can she survive it? Will she be able to stand? Will she not shake in faith? Can she do these things? And then some other well wishers, you just feel like this girl is too small to face this thing. She will just waste herself because she'll go into it, get discouraged, and then she'll give up. That kind of, she might get overwhelmed. That kind of thing. So some well wishers will come in sincerity and love and discourage me. But then I knew what I saw. I just wanted something more. And I was no more in everybody's era. So I was like I was far away. There was a way God just linked me with that upper level that I was just far away. So everything they said, sometimes I'll reduce my pace. Sometimes I'll keep up. So what I want like my listeners to gain an advice for my listeners is, first off, start early. Now when I say start early, it's not start when you're a teenager. Start if now, one thing I believe is now is the earliest. Because if someone is 40 years old now and is listening to this, and I'm saying start early, I'm not saying anybody that is no more a teenager should not start. 40 years old is still earlier than 60 years old. And it's not there are people that start their career really late. We hear stories of elderly people like 40, 50, 60 that are going back to school and all of that, just to fulfill that part of them. So if I say start early, now that whoever is listening to this is listening to it is early. It's early already. So it's more like start now. But then for people that are going to nurture children, I feel like we should give children the tendency to flex their abilities. God has imputed something in everybody, in every child, like as we grow. I know it's like a regular that okay, if you want to start anything, wait till you are done with school, because I heard a lot of that. I heard a lot of when people that are starting businesses, people that are becoming CEOs, though I think my generation has changed things now. But I heard a lot of from when I was in secondary school and I was already into business, like secondary school, SS2, SS1, I was already building a brand for myself. It felt like people that do these things are not in secondary school. People that do these things are people that have graduated, all of that kind of stuff. So and parents just need to like risk some things, because somehow success doesn't come if there is no level of risk. So to build children, I feel like allowing them to flex their abilities aside school. That child has a talent, that child has something inbuilt. Allowing them to discover that link inside of them it helps, because some of them will enter school and sometimes once they enter university, the pressure is so much that they don't recognize themselves. But from home, from grooming, the point where they can still catch things. My parents did support for my grooming too. They did a couple stuff that assisted me to discover that part of me. Even getting me a phone was one of the things that helped me, because imagine I didn't have a phone at that point. So sometimes some things that could be risky, something that getting a 13-year-old child a phone, a 12 or 13-year-old child a phone, and like giving the child a phone is like you're exposing the child to something. But I feel like just believe them. Exposure pays. Exposure paid me. But praying for that child also matter, because yes, as much as I saw the good things, there were bad things, there were threats to my coming up. But then I don't know whose prayer is working for me, but I know someone's prayer was working for me. So aside the good side, I would not lie, there were bad sides to this whole exposure thing. But still, God is also a very big factor. Now in everything we do, there is advantages and disadvantages to these things. There is anybody that has hit a big jackpot has definitely taken a very big risk. And if it is a risk, that means if it is a success, you get to be paid off really big. And if it is a failure, that failure will be a very, very massive failure. So that's where God comes in, taking risk and including God a big time. So that if it will turn to something, you would have like a shock absorber. Like God will just be there to accept, to bring you in. God will just be that guide. Okay, you are taking a risk, but then you still have a guide in the risk. So I want everybody listening to start and also leave your era. Like this is your age mate, this is your age level, this is what people do, this is what the world is saying. Like go beyond that level. Think higher, think farther, like farther than the level you are. And that's how it pays really. That's what shoots people above others.
Wow. That's really nice. That's really encouraging. Like from what you said, I would say, and to everyone listening to me, think beyond your level. Like reach for the stars. Don't settle for less. Do things that people are not doing. Don't say because this is what my peers are doing, that is what I'm going to do, or that is the only thing I can do. No, discover yourself early, because if things happen when you don't discover yourself early enough, you will not be able to know what you can do and what you cannot do. But when you discover yourself early enough, like she said, like our speaker has said, that you should start now, start early. And when she means start now, start early, does not mean a 40-year-old person cannot start something. As long as you have discovered yourself, you can do whatever it takes. And the big factor in this is put God first. This cannot be overemphasized. Whatsoever you want to do in life, if God is not involved, you can do everything and nothing will work. But God has to be a big factor. That He has to be the center of everything, center of our being, and you just see how things work out for you. Just like our speaker here, she put God first. She put God in everything that she was doing, and God crowned her efforts with success. So moving forward, the next question says, you published a book in 2024. What if ASU strikes again? When I read that title, when I saw and I was like, what if ASU strike again? Is it that you want ASU to strike again, or you are not happy that ASU has not striked? So I want to ask for people like me and other people, for those that are listening to us, what is the book all about? What was running through your mind during this period? Like, why did you give the book that title, and why did you write the book? How is the feedback on the book? Like, how has been those that have read the book, how has been the feedback so far?
Okay, before I answer this question, I would like to say something about like the question before. To parents now, people, intending parents here, there is something about when we allow like children start fast, like early. You know, at that age of 12, 13, when I was on Facebook putting out things anyhow, most people just look at it like, that small girl, she's just being childish. But imagine an adult now making that some mistakes adults are not supposed to make. But there is a luxury we have if we start, like if parents allow children to start fast. There's a luxury they have, because there's this picture the world gives us to, oh, she's just still small. There's still some things that we even do now that people say, oh, she's just a teenager, she has not gotten. But imagine I'm 20, 25, 30, 35. There's some things that the older we go, the higher the expectation society brings. So before that expectation is built at all, if we allow kids to catch up from early, if we allow them, support them, they would cut off that part of like struggling with expectations and freely make their mistakes early enough, learn their lessons, and be able to catch up fast. So that's that. Then moving on to this current question now. The inspiration of the book was when I was coming to school, and anytime they ask me what school what school am I coming into, and I'm like, you hear things like, OAU is slow, OAU is slow, Destiny, this one, you know, that horror is everywhere. You go on, like, people could just graduate, after they graduate, they will come back and shame the school again. And I'm like, from secondary school, SS1, I used to wonder what exactly, is it that you did not get anything from the school? Like, if they did not push you into the school, please, why are you leaving the school and then you are shaming the school? Like, they will come and preach to you to not come to where you, like, as if it's a death or somewhere that kills destiny or something. And I was just like, the OAU I know, you know, I overhear conversations. My dad is a lecturer, and I overhear conversations of graduates with him. I hear opportunities that, like, I don't know, it's not like OAU is rubbish. I don't know how to put it, but there's a way they place it in your face. There was a way they placed it in my face as a to-be fresher that was so different from the actual reality. I just feel like you cannot be a first class graduate in OAU and then your life will be rubbish. Like, I don't get. So no matter the hate self. So there was this vibe they were giving, like, don't come to OAU is not a good school and all of that. And they used to do as if it's only in OAU that they used to strike. As to strike. So I was like, is it only in this school? I didn't even know. Honestly, I had that idea from SS1, SS2, the way people were reacting. as if it was only OAU that does strike. It was until I wrote my jam I realized that okay, other schools actually have us to strike and all of these things too. But then I followed, that thing was inside of me. I was just, it hurts me because as I then I just felt like I don't know the number of people that I've wasted away with this vibe of oh you slow down your memory, oh I'll be slow down your destiny, oh you will do this and that. And I just feel like it was a wrong, it was a very wrong idea, it was a wrong ideology. And generations were passing it on to generations. Imagine people telling me that I'm not yet a fresher, not to come to where you like it was like they were aggressively passing it on, and it was very wrong. I feel like it was a very wrong ideology and a very wrong idea they were giving to. Imagine giving a fresher that idea. The fresher is coming into school with that idea, just the whole process, and then they pass it on from generation to generation. Like, oh, it is one retarding school and all of that. So I had that in my mind. It was like I didn't know how to settle it, but it was like a pain. Like, why are people getting things wrong? Then when I got to part one, they announced the break between I think part one and part two. Yes, this break we just finished was around 4 months, 3 months plus or 4 months. And immediately they announced that break. You need to see Twitter with status. So everybody was everywhere. 4 months. Only OAU, this one, that one. So I was speaking with that thing. I just saw it run and I was just like, okay, why are people like this? If they did not give break, we will complain. If the break is too small, we will complain. Nah, they give people 4 months. People are complaining again. When school stress was much, people complain. So I was like, where exactly are we getting things wrong? Why are they blaming who? Like, I was just, okay, what's this thing about the whole going around, okay, the holidays, 4 months. The shouts were shouting, it did not reduce the break. So I was speaking with some of my friends and then they attacked the whole issue, like the whole issue got serious and they were expressing themselves. Apparently that group of friends, I was the youngest, or I'm the youngest. Imagine as at then I was 17. And I'm talking to people that are older than me. So it felt like I didn't understand what was going on. So honestly, I just felt that I now saw from their perspective that, okay, imagine someone who is 20, 21, 22, and then you are coming into school with the ideology that your seniors have given you that, oh, you slows people down. Then you already have their fear. Then in between having the fear and wanting to at least telling God, save me, let me shall finish school fast. They now announce a 4 months holiday. And you don't know what strike is coming after. So somehow that thing affected a lot of them, and I don't blame them, honestly. But then I just felt like if OAU is slowing people down, even if OAU, after every part, there's like 1 year break. Part 1, you do 1 year break. Part 2, you do 1 year break. Part 3, before you finish. Even if that is in existence. So I felt like they were sending the wrong vibe. Because some people would work so at this admission that we have. I was telling those to my friends, we're all in part 1, that this admission we have, they themselves, they knew what processes it took them before they could enter. At least I was the youngest. I entered from secondary school straight. I wrote jam from SS2, entered straight. So I knew I could not relate. But they themselves know, okay, they've attempted a series of times before they entered school. And I said before they entered school, they definitely knew what they went through. And when they saw the admission, they knew the joy. So imagine after God has favored you, they now announced break. You're now talking against that same school. They said, yes, they did have plans for the break. It's not like they don't mean it like that. And I'm like, you don't know who unfortunately would see the things you're putting out. And because of that, it will drench their own, like it will pull them down, it will break them down. They would lose the old track and think, okay, everybody, even the people that they think have the positive mind, everybody is like this, everybody's complaining about the school, and so they lose focus. That was the first point of target. Now, I felt like people were transferring that toxin to generation, from generation to generation, and it was going to be affecting some unseen set of people. Secondly, I felt like if you are given a 4 months break, there's a whole lot you can build within 4 months. Honestly. And so aside all the noise and everything, because I feel like for me, my whole success story came from COVID-19, a breakdown. In fact, a lot of stories are connected to that COVID-19. So people tell you their stories are like, okay, COVID-19. So I feel like having a 4 months break, when you are in school, schedule is tight, things are not going so smooth, and then they give you a 4 months break, and the next thing you want to do is open your mouth and complain. And the book was just more of like me trying to make like the reality of the fact that before you complain, like as a normal straightforward, like normal intellectual, someone that is positive minded and goal oriented, if there is a problem, the first thing to do is not to complain. The first thing to do is to sit down and strategize. And I saw the opposite of that so much in OAU student that it was like a pain for me. Now, a lot of people graduate from OAU and blame OAU, but it's not OAU's fault. It's their own fault, because you can't have that kind of mindset. A little problem, you're already complaining, and you want to graduate from school and be and gather something. Somehow that defect is going to affect something in the future. So somehow I just felt like that is part of the defect, things affecting people, and then small thing when they graduate and they don't have job, it's because OAU, their age has already passed the age they can collect the OAU, small thing OAU, but then they didn't see from themselves. Secondly, that break period, that 4 months, if we build strategically, not just building, there's a difference between building and building strategically. Now, I did a survey before I put out the book. I asked people, I sent out this question, is it questionnaire now, to people to ask them how they feel about the 4 month, the announcement of the break, and what if. Now, the question of the questionnaire, the last question was, what if ASU strikes again? That was just the question. That was where the title of the book came from. So normally when you read that, you're supposed to say maybe anything that comes to your mind as the question is. So what is ASU strikes again? I wrote it there. So from the survey I did, I discovered, from the people are used to this strike, this, in fact, federal school general, no, not just OAU, this strike action, this and it's not ASU's fault either. It's not the students' fault. Circumstances still just happen. So these strikes and these long breaks, people are just used to it, that whenever there is, even from secondary school, whenever there is like that GS3 vacation or SS3 vacation, your parents will tell you to go and learn a trade. But then I now notice a deficiency. People just learn that trade to either pass time, to catch fast money, or to just say, okay, my friend is doing baking and she's into baking, and she's already building something on social media now, and people are already knowing that. Let me just join, let me just follow like that. But then I wanted people to see from a perspective of strategic building. The difference between me going to learn a trade because of now and me sitting myself down. A lot of students don't know what they are in future. As I am, it's weird though, but already I pictured myself. I have a picture painted of myself at 60 years old. I have as with my married, with my home, my children grown up, what I want to live like, what I want that life to be like. Now, I have a particular age I've set that, okay, this is particular age I want to retire. This is a particular age I want this to happen and that to happen. That's why now that I can run, now that running for this, going for that is still interesting, I can still do it. That's why I want to do it now. I want to, no matter what anybody's saying, it's too much, it's this thing. In my future, nobody's there to run with me. So I want to run the run now. The future I want. My twin said it. I'm a twin actually. So my twin said it once that, this girl, your life is luxury. And I said yes. I'm a soft girl. But for now, I want to build a platform. I want to build to a platform where in my future I will not end. You cannot reap where you've not sown. So I want to sow so much that in my future I will just be reaping from where I'm sowing, and help doing the work of my father and like that. So one thing I noticed is that most students, if you ask freshers, average of them, if you ask them what they see themselves as in the next 30, 40, 50 years. 30, 40, 50. I'm coming. Yes, 30, 40, 50 years. Most of them would either say, I'm going to be a doctor, or I'll have a business, or nothing strategic. There is no clear picture. And that thing affects, and most of them even say it from the point of, okay, maybe because I'm studying medicine, I want to be a doctor, or because some people study medicine and they don't actually go into that basic line. So now, if there is no, most of them don't have that big future plan. Now imagine someone that has taken it's time to sit down and say, okay, these are the things I like, these are the things I don't like, these are the things I know I can dwell on, these are the things I feel like I can build on, this particular trade, I just want it to be there, just side hustle. This one I want to be major in it and all of that. If someone has sat down like that and in his mind is like, okay, I want to have a very big fabric industry where they manufacture fabric. That's the future I see myself like. I'm giving an example now. That person will not have a 4 months break and go and learn how to bake. I'm not saying that knowledge is a waste. Definitely, the person can be baking in his or her house in the future or something, or anyhow it is. But there is a part of, let me give an analogy now. If there are 5 buckets of water, and I'm supposed to scoop water from a tank into those 5 buckets of water, there's a difference between me scooping and pouring it directly into one until it is full, move on to the next one, and taking that bowl of water and sprinkling it over all of them. Definitely, they won't get filled up fast. So now when we concentrate attention, when we know where we are going, it helps us to concentrate attention to that particular goal. So I'm not saying, okay, you learning baking when you know, okay, you don't want to build a future as a baker or something is a waste. It's not a waste. But then if you know, okay, you like, personally, I do a lot of things and I can relate with learning a couple things together, like at the same time or something. If you know, okay, maybe you have a flair for baking, but you already know, I don't see myself in this future. How will I be baking when I want to be a medical doctor or something? Then when you have a break, let's say you have 100%, you will give more priority to what you want to build in future compared to that other thing that is supposed to be something small. But because most students have not taken that time to sit down and draft a picture for themselves, there is no long-term goal. It's just, let me be occupied. So someone that's supposed to be learning coding can be learning shoemaking, not because that knowledge we waste, but because he has not just sat down to look at it. Okay, how exactly do I want to stroke? How exactly is my future? Who do I see in the next 30-40 years? So it's that part too was painful, because I just felt like now parents just feel like the child should not waste away, go and learn a trade. And then the moment that moment is supposed to be a moment to contribute to the future of that particular child. But that moment is still indirectly a waste, not a total waste, because yes, the skill can be used somewhere in the future. But imagine if you have taken that time to invest in your future in actual sense. It will be better when you get to that future. There's like an addition. You are working towards that future. It's not just like you're rigmaroling around the circle and you're telling yourself, okay, no knowledge is wasted, no knowledge is a waste, no knowledge is a waste. But then the major thing you're supposed to do is, if you are wasting it, at the end of the day, you will not come back and then you say, okay, somebody is faster than you, somebody is lucky. Nobody's lucky. Some people just have some strategies that some others don't have. So it was that part of the pain of people just do things to earn fast cash or should not be idle, just because the society is now saying any child that is on break now, shall don't be idle, shall do something, shall don't, no knowledge away, shall do something. So people, I feel like we have to graduate from that level of no knowledge is a waste, yes, but have a big picture. It's not like it's going to be rigid, definitely. It's going to be flexible. Things change along the line. But if you have a goal, if something wants to change, it will also change strategically. It's not like you are just rolling, life is just banging into this side, you go, come to this side, you go. But if you have that big picture, then in fact, you'll be able to work better towards it. I see some people tell me, MSc, you're lucky at this. I'm like, you don't know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm seeing and I know where I am. That's why it looks like, okay, she's very fast, she's this. It's because once there is a goal, there is going to be strategic growth. There's going to be strategic work, and then it will look to the world like you are fast. But it's not because you are just fast. You can be doing the same. You can be putting in the same effort, but someone is putting in 90% effort into what they are not supposed to put 90% effort into, and you are putting your own 100% effort into what is going to pay you. Definitely, you would seem faster. But I just wanted our world to graduate from that idea of no knowledge is a waste, and actually understanding strategic growth and taking time to sit down, paint that picture. And when ask successful people, ask Ebunoluwa Olagunju, before her particular age, she had seen herself in that future picture. She had a future picture. So ask people that have made things in life. They have that future picture. So if somebody wants to make something strategic and then you just want to be like that particular influencer, that public figure, that celebrity, and then you cannot give what it takes to be like them, we will just be rolling around circles. So that was one of the things that pushed me into writing the book. Now, about the feedback I've gotten from the book, the sales. Personally, I have a glitch in marketing, like especially books. I market my other products, my brand. I market my brand. I talk about my YouTube channel a lot, but when it comes to my books, I don't know. There's just that part. I don't know why I don't know how to market my books particularly. But then sale just happened, and I'm just like, okay, I'm planning to step up my marketing game this particular year. But one thing I know is that nobody can read that book and if you are intentional enough when you are reading my book, something is going to happen. You shall catch one fire. Then it's not possible. Now, when I put out the book, I got a couple sales, and some people bought like more plenty copies. Some people bought for people. I got sales from outside the country and all of that. Then this year now I'm working with some people. Like some people read the book and came back to my DM to say things like, okay, how do we start? Like the part that gives me joy the most is seeing people actually catch the vibe. Now another issue I had with the book is me. I was 17 when I wrote the book. I'm presently 18, and then I have, there are people that are 20, 21, 22, 23 that actually have this issue. And my fear was, my issue was just like, okay, how do I get it across to them? They just feel like this girl just wrote something, she doesn't understand, this girl cannot know more than us, that kind of thing. I had that challenge. I had it, and I'm still begging God, because it's still a point of pain. My own goal is not to even earn from the book. My first book, I remember I charged 500 naira for that book. And somebody was like, hey, am I stupid and all of that? Personally, if not because if you give things free to people misuse them. If not, personally, I gave somebody that book still day before yesterday. I gave her the book. No, late last year. I gave her a copy of the book for free. I didn't have to read it. And we started work. She started, okay, she wants to build this for herself and all of that. And that's just because I felt like, okay, this is one-on-one. I spoke with her and I said, see, this book I'm giving you, this is why I don't like to give people my books for free. But if you can show me that you are trustworthy. And she did take it up, and I was so glad. But if not because people don't value things that are free, I would give my books out for free. My own goal is to see that it gets to the people it's supposed to get to. But because if it gets to themselves, they will just carry it's free, they just carry it and just leave it like that. So honestly, if not, I've been looking for ways to get it around, get it across to people. And another painful part is people that have poor mindsets. People that I'm not categorizing any kind of person now. People that need work on their mindsets. People that, even actually personally, I'm still growing my own mindset too. I'm growing in every area. I'm developing too. So, but people that have this poor mindset towards reading, towards once they see book, they are off. It's people like that have a lot of these issues. Now, the issue is, if you want to solve an issue and the solution is in a book and the person has an issue with reading, how do you get it through? So that has also been an issue. But so far, I've seen people read the book and say, get back to me. But most of them are either my age or younger. So that was why I said this, that I still have issues with older people. But I'm on God. I know God is going to do something, because my own is to see that people pick up, people start to do things, people catch the fire. That's my goal. And so that's like the feedback. That's the inspiration, what inspired the book and the feedback.
That was a lot. So, okay, with what you said, I've been able to get one or two reasons why you wrote the book and why that title, What If ASUU Strikes? Because when I first saw it, I was like, what is this? What if ASUU strike? We are praying that ASUU should not strike. Yeah, say, what if ASUU strike? Do you want ASUU to strike? Because that was the answer again when I saw the title, What If ASUU Strike? And I was like, do you want ASUU to strike? Like, tell us why you want ASUU to strike. So now, yeah, I've gotten more understanding about the topic, and I hope to read it someday. Yeah, I only saw the title somewhere. I've not read the book. There's something you said while you were answering the question. You said that when you know where you are going, it helps you to concentrate your attention and you put your efforts into that particular thing. Everything still boils down on discovering yourself. Like, from all what we have been saying, everything still boils down on discovering yourself. If you discover yourself in time, you'll be able to see the bigger picture. You'll be able to work towards it, and you'll be able to set goals and achieve them. But if you are not able to discover yourself, there's no way, like, there's no two ways about it. You can admire the most successful person on earth, but if you don't discover yourself and you are saying you want to be like this person, and that is not who you are supposed to be, there's no how. You would be you just keep complaining that I'm doing all the things that this person is doing, yet I'm not getting the recognition that this person is getting. Why? The why is because you are walking on another person's path. Discover your own path so that you can also be discovered. if you don't walk your own path, there's no how. Like, it is not magic. This success story of a thing is not magic. You cannot just wake up one day and say, oh yes, I'm the Ebunoluwa Olagunju of this time. How do you want to do it? It's not possible. Do you know the work she has done? She has done a lot of things, like a lot of underground work that it might not be displayed out there. So it's now left for each and every one of us to bury ourselves, know how to discover ourselves. Like, discover yourself. Like she said, she gave herself 6 months break from social media. And then this social media of it has its good and bad side. The bad side can be it will just make you not to know. Like, you will just be so addicted to it that the things you're supposed to do, you won't do it. The good side, it helps you grow. When you have discovered yourself, you now channel your energy into discovering people that in your niche, and you would strive to work towards getting to be your own personality. She has her own pen name, she has her own standard. Like she said when we started the interview, ÀJÍKÄ and Mercy, she see it as two different human beings, because Mercy is the personality, ÀJÍKÄ is the name that is being spoken out there. So when you discover yourself, you would know your why, you would know your purpose, you will not be walking in another person's path. I just pray that all of this will make sense to someone out there, and God is going to order your steps and direct you into the right path. Because in this life, if we are not walking in the paths which God wants us to walk in, life is just a waste. And it's nice interviewing a trail like me. Yeah, that's nice. So moving forward to next question. You've appeared on 10 different stages on OAU campus this in the year 2024. What were your experiences like? How were you able to cope in all of this? How were you able to juggle between academic life and your influential life, so to say? The good ones, the bad ones, and the unpleasant ones, the pleasant ones. We want to hear about it. Were you like, what were the experiences?
For me, balancing, for anybody that is into more than 18, balancing is a whole lot. Like, balancing is a whole lot. Then trying to balance, and then the whole society is telling me you're too young for all of this. Like, sometimes telling you, sometimes when you are down, when you are weak, you should run to somebody and express yourself, and then they encourage you. But when you run to people and then they are telling you yourself you're overdoing, that kind of thing, they're not giving you the vibe. So you feel like, I'm not just in you people's world, I'm in my world, just leave me. So sometimes when I'm down, the only option I have is just to run to God most times. So balancing can be a lot. And combining my appearances on stage. Sometimes, I can remember there was one, I had a lecture, I think 12 to 2. I had another lecture 2 to 5. And I had a poetry performance by 2 o'clock. So I did, because it was not normally before that day, if things were like properly set and all of that, I would have like, known, okay, how do I shift this and put this? And that particular day, I also had, I had a client to style for a shoot, but I think 2, was it not 2? It was just, it was supposed to be 2 or maybe, I think 5, yes, around that time, sure. It was just that day, my head was just loud. Like, it was not like there was an alarm in my head. I was just like, okay, how was I going to do this? Lectures were, because somehow lectures, so sometimes now the lecturer might come to class, lecturer might not come to class, and sometimes you just announce, okay, we have this particular class from this time to this time. You were thinking it was 1 hour, then it's now 2 hours. Those things happen, like, I don't know if it happens in all schools, but it happens on my campus. Sometimes they've canceled class, they will refix it again. So it really did affects me a lot, because after I've scheduled to have a performance in this particular program and they can't shift the program because of me, then, and I feel like, okay, I've agreed. Some people have invited me to have sealed things, and then I have to cancel it. Sometimes I'll just get a notification, there's a particular class, or there's a test, or there's something, and I have to leave the place and run. I can remember there was a day I was just running around campus. I had to run from class to a venue after performance. I like at a point, at the point where you have, sometimes you are looking for, sometimes there's bike, you don't have the money. But that point where you have the money, but you just do not see any bike man. So you just have to. I did not, because I have the money. There's no bike. I can't fly. Just have to be running. I don't know. But people just looking at me. Some guys made some comments. Now. If it was that I was running with a group of people, it would be like, okay, maybe they change location of their lecture. But this one, I was running alone, and I was oh god, I was not with even my bag. I dropped my bag. Okay, my friend was supposed to tell me like use it to secure a seat in the next class. So I had to run from a lecture to the venue of the performance, from the venue of the performance back to the lecture. I've had funny experiences. Sometimes, because as a student, I have to, me, I have a covenant to God and my grades. It's not coming down no matter what. So that academic side is like nothing is touching it. So that part of me is one part I dread to affect it a lot. So when it comes to my reading, I barely sleep actually. Even today, between today and yesterday and day before yesterday, I've not slept up to 4 hours. It's not good. It's not like it's good. But then sometimes I have to sacrifice some things for something. So sometimes I just have to sleep in. A lot of things have to suffer. That luxury time of just being idle, scrolling online, just strolling, like, okay, your friend just say, I want to go and buy suya, say you follow me, and you just follow. Or those idle moments, my sleep, like too much. In fact, too much sleep is not something anybody has to preach to me again. That was the time I used to oversleep, but not again, because nobody will beg me to calculate and think that, okay, you need to wake up and do what you need to do. Sometimes I sleep really late tonight and I wake up very early. Some of my friends will ask me, somebody still asked me today that when do I used to sleep, that do I sleep at all? So those things, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into this thing, because constructing a poem is not something you just do. They just give you the theme of the event, and 2 minutes later you have come up with the poem. You have to take a whole lot to construct. After constructing, sometimes I construct, I cancel the construction, I have to do it again, all over again, because it's just not making sense. It's not meeting my աջիկɛ standard. And then sometimes after constructing that stuff, then you have to master your lines. Because personally, I can't, like, going upstage with a phone. Sometimes I have to go with a phone actually. Sometimes, sometimes expression comes more when you are like independently pouring them out. There's this beauty that comes aside. It's poetry, aside like reading from books. So yeah, reading too, sometimes you just have to do it. You just have different like bad goals. Then night, like personally, I don't believe in just construct anything. I believe in growth. So I believe my present work must be better than my past, like maybe something I've done before. I so believe, and then that's one of the, when I initially was into, like, when I was getting invitations to perform, I had this rule that I was not going to repeat and hold poem, because I just felt like, we have influencer celebrities in this field that they have the luxury. If I'm musicians, you go for an event, they call you to come and be performing artist, you perform an old song. Now they have the luxury of those songs, because okay, they've built to an extent. But I just felt like I needed to put in more and all of that. And so I actually study poems. So aside my books, I study poems. Like, I read on poetry. I do a lot of like research on poetry. I do research on poets themselves. And these things, I'm just saying them, these things are things that I can deal with one poet for like a week. It's things that take my time and all of that. So sometimes when I say, okay, I'm not active on WhatsApp and all of these things, sometimes people send me messages and I'm not able to reply fast and all of these things, and a whole lot like comes into taking that time. And one thing I know is balancing is not easy. So that's also like one of the things that takes me up. So sometimes it looks like I'm reading academic book, and it's that poetry, that part of me as a poet that I'm reading. And so balancing with academics and even a couple other sides of mine is something. Sometimes it's when I'm sewing that I'll be writing my lines. Sometimes you will see me. Yesterday I was doing something and I was in another thing. So I was just like, oh, it's funny that this is just my life. Sometimes something has to intrude into something. Yeah, I'm working on the way. There was a particular poem I composed. I was walking from my hostel to church. So I just stayed. I just had to, put things together because I had a deadline to meet. So I had to work on that on transit. So it's a lot of times. Sometimes I just feel like, okay, let me just scream, let me just shout, and it's sometimes very tense. And or there are some performances that after they've invited me to perform, because of time and maybe planning and all of those things, I don't get to perform. Those things can be painful because after sleepless nights, after doing research, After combining and composing and destroying some scripts before finalizing the product and mastering my lines, and then I now went to look for clothes I want to wear. I iron the clothes, I dress, I come for the event, then I don't, and then coming for any event is a very big sacrifice on my part, because as you said, as a student, I told you, I mentioned that there is one experience I had running from a lecture to a performance and back to a lecture. Imagine I now ran that much and I get there, they now tell me I'll not be able to perform again. It will sting, it will be very, like, it's not easy. And then I faced this a couple times too, so it's not like it's not impossible, it happens. And I totally don't blame anybody, things just happen, and sometimes things don't go as planned and all of that, and but somehow it just can be very painful, and that's just part of some of the very weird experiences. But the beautiful part is what the world sees. Most times we don't see that painful part. But then we're going for both the beautiful and the ugly. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, it's so amazing and challenging to see, to hear, and to know that behind the ÀJÍKÄ, behind the Mercy we see out there, there are a whole lot of things that you do. When I was making my research about you, I got to know that you had a hairstyling brand, you sew, you do poetry, you write, and I was like, and you are a student. And I heard, though I've not confirmed, I heard somehow that you also teach some language courses, and I'm like, only you, like, how do you do all of these things on OAU campus? Because people do say that the stress that people face on OAU campus is more than the stress that they face on every other campuses. Like, how I've been just trying to wrap my head over it, like how you are able to juggle everything. You are doing this, you are doing that, you are doing everything, just one person. And I would say that they are a jack of all trades, master of all, because in everything I've read about you, you are succeeding in this, you are succeeding in that, and it has just been amazing and challenging. Because there are people that your age and they'll be like, I still have a lot of time, why should I stress myself? But see you barely have time to sleep, because why? You want to put in the work. But some people, please, I don't want to stress myself, I want to live a soft life, I want to do this, I want to do that. And when they fail, they will start blaming people. One thing about life is, or one thing about we that are living in this life is that people are too quick to pass blame and to judge other people for their own mistakes. They are not ready to own up to it that, okay, it's because of my own shortcomings, that is why I was not able to do this thing. They will always put the blame on someone else, that you are the one that did not make me to do this. And the more we do that, the more we don't step up our game. The more we do that, the more we don't see a fault in what we are doing. The more we don't see a fault in our own lifestyle. But if we brace up and see that, okay, I can do better if I put things in place and stop blaming other people for my own mistakes, then I can do better. Just like our speaker is saying, like, she has to put in a lot of work. She might not come out, if not for this interview, she might not even say it anywhere that, she has sleepless nights, she's running from one lecture theater to one event center. You just see that, she's out there, you just see the fine pictures and everything that she's doing. You'll be in your corner admiring her, scrolling your phone. I want to be like this lady. But if she tells you all the things that she's doing, can you even do half of it? Because everybody wants to achieve something, everybody wants to be noticed, but are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to do that work to be noticed? If you're not ready to do it, then I don't think that be able to hit the spotlight. But if you are ready to do the work, why not? With God by your side, and with everything she has been saying, God has been the center of it. See, we cannot achieve anything without God. We just have to put God at the center of everything, and prayer is the master key. Because if she did not pray, if she did not put God in it, there's nothing you want to do that will work out. And yes, she has said the good, she has said the bad part, she has said the ugly, she has said the beautiful part. Please, my listeners, when you want to achieve something and you face challenges, that is not the end of the way. If she had said, oh, maybe one of the days they called her and they told her that she's not able to perform again, she now say, this poetry thing, see, I'm not doing again, I'm tired. We should be known by now. She won't. If she had just given up early, she would not be known. She would not be able to achieve her goals. But she's kept on striving to achieve, because she had set the goals and she challenged herself to achieve those goals. The goals can be written down and be put in on our papers, on our notepad, and be there for years. Some people even stick it so that they can be remembering whenever they see it, but they are not working towards it. If she did not work towards her goals, nothing, there will be nothing to show for it. And if she had relented because something bad happened, or because people talked down on her, then she now started seeing herself in that reality, no, she wouldn't have achieved what she had achieved. But because she's seen herself in God's reality, it is God that brought her to existence. It is God that is making her to be what she is. If she has said, oh, because this person said this is who I am, no, because she knows who she is, that is why she's able to achieve all she is achieving. And I hope we are learning a lot from all of this that she's saying. And if you have questions for her, feel free to put it in the comment section. She would be more than glad to answer your questions. So yes, moving forward to our next questions. From my findings, it shows your articles got published on OAU websites in the year 2024. How did it make you feel? Like when you saw that your article was published on OAU websites, how did it make you feel?
It was the height of honor, and it just made me see more to when God steps into your matter. It's going to just make it very different, because I'm not the first inaugural poet, I'm not the second inaugural poet, I'm the third. It didn't happen for the first, it didn't happen for the second, it has not happened for anybody. No, like it's not common for your work to be published on a school's website. And for it to have happened to me, I saw beyond just anything ordinary. I saw God just saying, okay, no, you just need to be you have to just be shot differently. You just have to be shot. And one thing is, even God sees things. He knows how much somebody cannot give this level of effort, like you are not serious, and then he wants to crown it extraordinarily. He also sees effort. He functions according to, okay, he does his part, and then you do your part. Then that's when it blends together. So I just saw it as the height of honor for my phone to be probably on Obafemi Awolowo University's website, and it just showed me more to God, how intentional God is about me, and how if I put in what it takes, God is going to push me, as long as I'm doing His will and I'm involving Him in every step of the way.
It didn't happen for the first, it didn't happen for the second, but it happened for the third. That's so wonderful, because yes, God crowned all your efforts with success, just like you said from the beginning. You did a lot of work, and God said, no, this girl just has to emerge. Just like you said, God sees the effort. God cannot just reward someone that is doing nothing and just put the person there, because the person will not be able to manage it. The person will just fizzle out within a space of time, because the person is not doing anything to maintain that standard. But because God has seen the effort you have put towards it, God has seen the work you've done, the work you are doing, God has seen that no, this girl is not settling for less, so I have to put her on a place. She will set the standard and people will keep following her. That's why, see, this everything like this is just wow. There are people that they are out there because of their parents' recognition. There are people that they are being recognized because of their parents' recognition. But it is so amazing that you've been able to carve out yourself and bring out yourself to a limelight without, like, you can call your name somewhere without, and people will easily know you without you saying, I'm the daughter of so and so person. Like that is just so amazing. And this is a challenge to everyone that is listening and watching this, that don't dwell on your parents' wealth. Don't dwell on your parents' recognition. Don't dwell on, oh, it is a family something. So when this person just put in word for me, then yes, people will know me. Strive to be known for you, not because my father is this and this and this and this. I just believe and hope that everyone will learn from what Mercy is saying and get one or two things, and also strive for excellence. So to my next question, of course we do not expect everything to be rosy. We do not expect, even despite all your successes, all the stories that you have told, how you were able to get a lot of recognition. We do not expect that, oh, the whole year was rosy for you, because they say life is not a bed of roses. And for one to succeed in life, there are a lot of things that one has to do, just like you said. So what are the challenges you faced in the course of the year? If you could cast your mind back, like your life in general, what was the challenges you faced through the year?
The first thing that was a challenge for me this year was staying offline, because for somebody that had been online for since I was 13 to 14 to 15 to 16, then 17, I decided, okay, I want to go offline. I was really vast online. Like now for someone that posts content like almost every day, you're active almost like every day, you engage, you do this. So stopping that, I had things, people will talk, people like talking. So I had things like, because first month, second month, third month, I was now losing out. My people that were together, people that started together on the online space were leaving me. It's more of like you stay, it was like to the world though, it looked like I was on a position and everybody was passing. So some people will come in and be like, okay, I don't have sense. That see my mate, see this person that started after you, she now has this number of followers, see this person. So I heard words throughout that, and there was this pressure. I was skeptical. Okay, by the time I'm coming back online, will I even make anything? I don't know. It was just my own friends, said things, and I just felt confused. That was one thing. Words of people. That what broke me really much. Then another challenge is balancing. I've mentioned this too. It's actually bigger than what I'm saying. It's a lot. The other issue is people that love you. When you are loved, you would actually have to, and you want to come out of the norm, it's harder, because people will feel for you. Normal, you cannot swim against the tide, and then you will not feel the force. You would feel a lot of pressure. So people that love you will now feel for you, and if it is you feeling it, you would be telling yourself, okay, this is the big picture. No matter what you feel, go for it. But then people that cannot now see the big picture now feeling it for you, it's also draggy, and then sometimes it looks like, am I being stubborn? Am I being, I don't know, that kind of thing. Trying to make people understand that, okay, it's not like I'm disregarding their concern, but then, I don't know, like, it's just balancing that together. Then, in the course of the year, I failed, as I said, I failed a lot of competitions. I've attempted to, and I failed, honestly. I had a whole lot of failure from last year, like a whole lot of failure. And I had a whole lot of no's. I asked some people for support, I got like direct no. I cried a lot from, like, I got negatives, especially for that 6 months period. I lost my recognition online. I lost that bigness, that, some people just rally around me because of that big. I discovered that the real people, they were not much. Some people just rally around because, okay, she's doing this online and she's doing that online. And I noticed when I stopped, some people didn't even come around at all. Like, there was just no, in fact, they were even saying things, someone should call you now and just discourage you throughout the call, that kind of thing. So I battled that a lot too, and it was a rough ride. As I said, I failed competitions, and those ones were painful. Then there was, after I had gained inaugural points, I still had a competition, I didn't win. So it felt like, for me now, it's heavier to fail, to lose a competition. Because, before I was inaugural poet now, if I enter into a competition and people, let's say there's a session and everybody is seeing each other, everybody sees each other as regular, all of us are equal, right? Anybody that wins, okay, they won, we lost. But imagine the inaugural point of OU entering into a competition. All of you have seen her like, oh, grab poet. Then the competition finishes and then she does not win. That thing is very striking. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very, very striking. And but regardless, I'll still keep going for competitions and I'm bent on it. If I fail, I cannot die. So as I am, anybody that's watching this, you know me as an grab or something, and then you see me at a competition and you're scared for your own. If anybody that is scared because grab is I don't see it as anything, because that I won a competition doesn't mean my brain is bigger than somebody somewhere. Everybody is growing too. And so I feel like if I'm going for a competition, people just free me, because I'm going to go for competitions, and either I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. I'm going to give everything it's going to take, and whatever the result is, I'm just going to give everything, but I'm not going to be scared to lose anything. Anybody that sees me in any competition, best of luck to all of us. So that's how it feels.
Wow, I love your mindset, because some people will not be able to cope with it. If they fail after getting that big recognition, it looks as if the whole world is looking at them like, even you yourself can fail. but well, I hope I've been able to learn something from what she has said. So moving on faster, the next question is, we know you have many things to be thankful for in the year 2024. Are there things that you did in 2024 that you regret doing, or that you have vowed never to do again? And what do you think you could have done differently to avoid such occurrences? Then, to wrap up this interview section, what's your advice for our dear viewers and listeners at home? Thank you.
As for regret, I'm not a fan of regrets. My mind is really not going to anything as a regret. Even instances that like bad moments, to me, I like moments to learn. So like, there's really not been a regret, like something throughout the year. My mind is not catching anything, so I'll say there's been no regret through the year. Yeah, if I'm permitted. Then to my listeners, I would say one issue I know affects us. Motivational speakers are plenty, both the ones that do their words and those that don't do it. So you will say, okay, be the resilient, be this one. It has permeated the society. But one thing I know is that write your goals, no problem. Be persistent or dedicated, as the word says it. For me, I would tell you that if something does not burn inside you, then you are not ready. If that thing is not burning, if you've not found that fire, go and look for it. Because you cannot want to eat something big and then you just feel everything you are feeling is what is in your paper, the list of goals you have in your paper, and be resilient that the world is saying. Like that thing, there's something that's supposed to burn, even if you are discouraged. It's something very, I don't know if it's only me happens to, or if it's only me happens to, then probably I think from what I expose myself to, maybe you should go and read stories of people. You should watch that movies that you watch and then you are inspired. Like it will be burning your head to just make it in life. Expose yourself to like things that will make that fire come, because if it is not burning inside you, if your goal is just on paper and there is nothing more, it cannot hit where it should hit. And most importantly, involve God. I don't know, there is nothing else I want to even say. There is no way I want to explain it or stress it. Involve God. Involving God, and then having that thing, your goal should stem from inside of you, and be aggressive to achieve. And that's all.
These take-home points are very, like, you are just hitting the nail on the head. He said, if something does not burn inside you, then you are not ready. Like, it's true. If there's no inner burning for that goal, then you are not ready for it. Don't just write your goals on paper. Work towards it. Be ready to work. This is year 2025. I know a lot of people must have told us, write your goals and do this one, do that one. Aside writing that goal, work towards the goals. I hope and pray that year 2025 ushers us into achieving all the goals that we have written down. And also, I pray for my listeners that drive that you need to achieve those goals that you have written down, that God is going to give you that drive. Because if you don't have that drive, there's no how. The goals will just be on paper. January, February, December will come again. We will say another happy new year, and you'll be like, and I did not do anything on this. Like, seriously, if you don't have that drive, there's nothing. So thank you very much, Mercy Olagunju, for honoring our invitation and for sharing with us. Like, you really gave us a lot. And I am so sure that our viewers and listeners have gotten a lot, because me that I'm even doing the interview with you, I've written a lot of things here. Like, seriously, I got a lot from all what you said. From my little research and listening to you personally, I can see that you have done a lot for yourself, and it is very, very admirable and very, very amazing and challenging to know that someone of your age can achieve all of this and even still in school. And the most challenging part of it is that no matter where you are, no matter the age, no matter your status, you can do what you have set your mind to do. You can achieve anything in life. And to my dear listeners, if you are there and it feels as if the world is looking down on you, it looks as if you have come to a crossroads, you are at the point where I cannot do anything. This is just an admiration. This is an admonishment for you that you can do whatsoever you have put your mind to do, no matter whatever. Just know that what people are saying, it is not for you. What matters most is what you yourself want to do. What you tell yourself you can do is what matters. And with God by your side, everything is possible. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to Emmy's vlog, and you can send your questions in the comment section.
Dear listeners, anywhere you're listening from, subscribe to Emmy's vlog. She's honestly, this was like a very was what this session was worth it. And honestly, from now, like, just subscribe, click the notification button, like get notifications on how videos drop and everything. You definitely learn a lot from this YouTube channel, so do not forget to subscribe.
This video is for everyone. Share to everybody. Don't audit. She did not hold any information, so please don't, as you are getting this video, send it out there. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.